Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. How are you today? My name is Praise Forward. This is episode 36 of PFthinks. Okay. Today I was a bit hesitant on what to share. By the way, if there's something you want me to address, please kindly drop the comment, so that I can address it. There were so many things on my mind. I wanted to start a series on family life. I wanted to start a series on parenting. I wanted to start a series on, so many issues that, I know that a lot of people would want to deal with. But today I have chosen to just quickly give you a few tips that can help you this season because I've been getting a lot of calls and a lot of mails, of people telling me they're still afraid of what's going to happen. And I think I've handled a session on fear before now. And if you follow that session, you would recollect that I described fear, or I defined fear as a coward that hides behind your ignorance and subjects you to the torture of what you have not studied and understood, and consistently feeds you with what you don't need to perpetuate itself till you are properly conditioned to love it and become enslaved for the rest of your life. I'll take that again. I have defined fear. Kate, you're welcome. Bumi, you're welcome as usual. Ariola, you're welcome. And everyone that is joining me. I have defined fear as a coward that hides behind your ignorance and subjects you to the torture of what you have not studied or understood, right? And consistently feeds you with what you don't need to perpetuate itself till you are properly conditioned to love it and become enslaved for the rest of your life. Now, in Africa, we know that many people who position themselves as our saviors are actually the perpetrators of our fear, right? That there are lots of fear factory that has been set up. They pump fear into you. They position themselves as your savior that you have to recourse to them for the rest of your life. So anyone, anything, any system, right, that you go into that makes you afraid and position yourself as the solution to your fear, right, that's a business, right? You need to understand that. Now, but today I just want to quickly share with you a few tips that can help you this season. My 5 top recommendations that can help you this season, especially in the season when everyone is afraid. I always tell people don't focus on COVID-19, focus on post-COVID, which means a lot of people are going to be bogged down. Their vision, their goals for the year is going to totally change into COVID. Let us survive COVID. No, your goal for the year must not change. You must keep your focus, because once you lose your focus, you've lost your life. Then another person has given you something you didn't bargain for. If you continue like that by December ending, you are going to make a lot of excuses for why you have not met your goal. You are going to, talk about so many things and make a lot of excuses, and your excuses will make sense to you. It's just that it will not make sense to God, right? Because people are going to become billionaires this period. People are going to smash their goals this period, right? So here are my top recommendations that can help you. Number one, you need to own your happiness. You need to learn to own your happiness, right? And my what that means is life will give you an opportunity to determine your own success and failures. But oftentimes we set ourselves up to fail by setting our own exams too difficult for us to pass. Your happiness index must be something within your control. So when I ask people what must happen for you to be happy, they will give me a figure. I must make $1 million for me to be happy. Now, the moment what you need to be happy is not absolutely in your end, your happiness index is going to be frustrated. So you need to make your happiness code or happiness index very mundane, as every time I commend someone, I'm going to feel happy. It must be very simple that way. It must be absolutely in your end. I've said that happiness is creating the heaven within you in a way that the air without you loses its power over you. What this simply means is that you need to create a code that is absolutely in your hand. I have seen people say, my husband is making me unhappy, my mother is making me unhappy, this person is making me unhappy. And I say, whosoever can make you unhappy is in charge of your life. Whosoever can make you sad is in charge of your life, and you don't want to put the key to your life in the hand of someone else, right? What that means is you need to own your own essence, you need to own your own happiness, and you need to determine what makes you happy. I mean, if you ask me what makes me happy, every time I impact people, I'm very excited. That's why consistently, if you hang around me for 5 minutes, I must inspire your brain, right? So you need to own your happiness this season, right? You need to be happy, Happy. I've done a session on that where H is your art, right? Where A is your natural ability, where P is your personality, where the other P is your passion, and Y is yesterday. That every time you can master your happy index, right, you take your life away from the people who want to control your life. Let me tell you, the world is about control. Everybody wants to control you, right? Everybody feels that they know how you should live your life, but they don't know you, right? So consistently, everyone figures out who they think you are. So when you go against the code they've set for you, the code they've put you, right, they begin to call you names that you're backslided, they label you, So for example, if I show up on this show today, with what do you call it? With Rasta hair. So let's say I've gone to do dreadlocks overnight and I show up, there are people that I will resent almost immediately. There are people that will stop following me totally because in their mind, this guy has lost it. Question: what has my hair got to do with the content of my character? What has my hair got to do with what I have inside of me? But that's the way the world is. They judge you on the basis of your car. They judge you on the basis of... So people go online, and the next thing is they see someone doing something, and the next thing is, they are blown away and they begin to question the quality of life they're living. So someone goes to visit a 35-year-old or a 30-year-old who has built a mansion, then you're going to question your own very essence. But you see, a house does not give you a home, right? Meanwhile, that person has a home, maybe he doesn't have a house. The person that has a house doesn't have a home. The person that has a house is crying for a home, right? Because there's no peace with the house. The person who has a home, however, is now trying to be jealous of the person who has a house. So you can see the contradictions to life, right? So you need to own your happiness. That's number one. Number two, you need to recreate your inner world. You need to recreate your inner world, right? And I'll tell you this, your mind cannot differentiate reality from simulation. Hence, everything you desire can be experienced now when you master the power of shadow boxing. So what that means is, I tell people your mind is like DSTV. You own the remote control, right? Your mind has different stations. It has horror movie, which are the pains you have gone through in the past, the unpleasant memories you have. Your mind has joy channel, your mind has romance channel, your mind have love channel, But when people are alone, oftentimes they switch to what does not work. They switch to horror movie. Exactly what they hate is what they keep watching, right? But there is bliss in them. Now, if you keep watching horror movie, it will affect your mood, it will affect your health, it will affect your life. Then after a while, you become depressed, right? But you can actually change the channel, right? So I always said, every time you feel moody, every time you feel bad, you need to change the channel, right? So because your mind cannot differentiate. So right now, people are locked down, but you can actually go on vacation. You can go on neuro vacation. If you go on mental vacation, so if you close your eyes and you imagine yourself at the airport and you imagine yourself flying your favorite airline, you imagine flying to your favorite resort, mentally you simulate these things. You imagine going to your favorite resort, getting into the room, getting into the beach, right, going for shopping. Your mind does not know that you did not leave your room, right? Everything you would have experienced, if you had gone physically, you will experience it mentally, and it will produce the same magical result, right? So you need to focus on what has worked, right? That's what we call in therapy forgetting not its benefits, right? That you take your mind back. Your mind does not, the mind only lives in the present. It doesn't know the past. It doesn't know the future, right? So you can cast your mind back intentionally to what has worked, right? You can also push forward, into the future to determine the bliss you want and enjoy the bliss now, right? You can go on neuro vacation, right? So this period that everybody is coming up with all kinds of funny numbers, funny threads, the post-COVID, all kinds of seminars, right? You need to recreate your own inner world. Who exactly do you want to be within you? Who exactly do you want to be in the future, right? So you need to recreate that world and go on that neuro travel, right? Experience serenity, experience peace within you, experience wealth within you, experience, vacation within you, experience, peace all around you, right? So you need to learn to do that through visualization. Visualization will really help you, right? An average person doesn't visualize, right? So there's meditation, there's visualization. Visualization is the one that can capture your future, right? So you can experience it now, whether you travel or you don't travel, you can go on vacation. Number 3, you need to master the power of request. You need to master the power of request. Request means that life will give you several options from its database based on the menu you have requested for. Hence, effective mastery of request is a critical tool in the school of life and progress. Invention and innovation are created by people who know how to make the right request, and only those who can question the future can unlock it. Let me explain this to you. A lot of us don't know how to request. Now, the energy of life says, ask and you will receive. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open. That if you don't knock, you are not qualified for any door to be open. If you don't ask, you will never receive. and if you don't seek, you will never find, right? And I've shared this with you before, that every time a lot of people are asked what they want, they mention what they don't want. And when they mention what they don't want, that's what they attract into their life. So what exactly do you truly want? Let me tell you how this works. Your mind is like Google, right? A lot of people, what they hear and they think it was God speaking to them, it's not God. It's the accumulation of thoughts in their mind. So if you go on Google today and you say, Google, how do you make money? Google will give you information. If you even put your name, how does praise make money? Google will come up with information. You can try it right now, but Google does not know you. Google is bringing out the information that has been stored in its database. So if you are poor, right, and you say to yourself, you ask your mind, why am I poor? You are asking the wrong question. You should have asked, what must I do to be prosperous, right? If you ask that question, your mind is a database. Your mind has read a lot of things, listened to a lot of things, visualized a lot of things. Your mind knows you more than anything, especially your unconscious mind. Everything you have done since you were born is stored there. Every information you have listened to is stored there. So if you ask your mind why, or if you make statements like, why am I poor? Why is my life this difficult, right? What your mind will interpret is you have typed into your Google, why is my life so difficult? And your mind, like Google, will come up with information. The information it's coming up with is not God, oftentimes speaking to you, right? It is the dominant information that you have stored in your mind. Good morning, sir. The dominant information, just like Google. So if the dominant information you have listened to is the preaching of a man who says that, a lot of people are poor, it's because there are some generational demonic causes in their village, right? You are going to hear a voice almost immediately saying you are poor because there are generational demons after you, right? That's not God speaking. No, that is the Google of your mind coming up with the dominant information that aligns with the question you are asking. Now, when you see that, you become afraid. The next thing you ask, question you are asking is, so what must I do to these demons? Now, that is another Google question that you have pressed into Google. Google will also search your mind. What is the dominant information? If the greatest message you have had is, you now need to go on 40 days fast, right? That is not God sentencing you to 40 days fast, right? It is the Google of your mind, right? So you go on 40 days fast, right? Hoping to break the barrier of poverty. After 40 days fast, right? Nothing has happened. You are now going to have to go again. What must I do? 40 days has passed, right? Why is my prosperity, why am I still poor? It will now tell you, having done the will of God, you need to be patient. That's a verse in the Bible. That's not God speaking, right? The devil can sentence you to all kinds of activities that has nothing to do with God because you have not asked the right question. He that asks, receive, right? He that seeks, find, and he that knocks the door shall be opened. If you don't master the power of questioning, of request, you are going to miss out totally. Which is why, have you not noticed that those meetings in Africa where they say you will not be poor this year, you will not be poor this year, that's where you have the highest congregation of poor people. Now, so you need to learn to ask what you want. So if you ask your mind, what must I do to be wealthy? Your mind will scan for information as well, and it will bring out from your database, right, the dominant information, right? But when the dominant information that is bringing out cannot produce the result, then I will recommend the power of modeling. You now need to go and find someone who is enjoying the success you want, right, and go and learn from them. Either you serve them or you study them, right? Like I've been studying Jack Ma. That's my character study for like the past 2 weeks thereabout, right? So you go and study them till something drops inside of you. Every time I listen to Jack Ma, he will mention Forrest Gump. He mentioned that movie every presentation. So I had to go and look for it, and I saw it. Now I picked about 12 lessons. Maybe someday I'm going to share that with you from Forrest Gump, right? That no matter what happens, just keep running, right? So you need to master the power of request. What exactly do you truly want? Don't talk about what you don't want. What exactly? That which is why he did not say, let the poor say, I am not poor. No, he said, let the poor say, I'm rich, right? Let the weak say, I am strong. You must move in the direction of where you want to go. So what do you truly want? What question must you start to ask? And what opportunities exist in your future? Number 4, this season, you need to master the power of meaning. Master the power of meaning. And we say that nothing means anything except the meaning you have attached to it. Your meaning will either empower you or disempower you. You are not in control of what people do or say, but you are in control of your interpretation, and you can either create a meaning that empowers or disempower you. I cannot take responsibility and liability for people's stupidity, right? But I can interpret it to suit my own narrative. The world is the world of narrative and agenda. The goal of any news is not to tell you the truth. The goal of a news is to create a perception and sell a narrative to you. That's what all news channels do, right? And that's why people work on your mind with advertisement, right? To make you feel something that can move you in a particular direction of an action, right? So you need to ask yourself, what hurts you the most this season and what makes you sad? Why does it make you sad? What meaning have you given to it? And I've shared it with you before. I was working with a lady, who said she was depressed. Why were you depressed? She said because her husband was calling her useless. And I asked her, is useless an insult? She said yes, it was insulting and it was depressing. I said, okay, so what is the meaning of useless? Can we check it? The word has two words. What are the two words? Use plus less, right? I asked her to flip it, it became less used. What's the meaning of less used? It became someone who doesn't have the capacity to effectively maximize you. So I asked her, was your husband insulting you, or he was announcing from a position of pain that it doesn't have the capacity to maximize you, right? Then she understood it, right? So you need to understand that nothing means anything except the meaning you attach to it. You are the meaning making machine. You are in control of your meaning. Now you can make your meaning empowering or make your meaning disempowering. It's all your choice, right? So someone can call you stupid. You can look at it as an insult. You will feel bad. But you can look at it as the person's first name. He will make you happy, right? Like I said, someone had looked at my write-up one day and said, stupid fool, right? I could have gotten upset, but no. I just went on. I said, thank you so much for coming on my timeline today. And thank you for your comment, right? Even though I couldn't make anything out of it. But one thing I've noticed is that unlike other people, you dropped your first name and your last name, right? So it's called clapping back, right? But so what people say to you, what they say about you should not get you upset at all. You need to change the power of the meaning, activate the power of meaning, right? And make your meaning work for you. Let me tell you, like I mentioned earlier, when I talked about recreating your inner world, your mind doesn't know the difference between what is real and what is simulated. So stop feeling bad about what people have said about you. You need to change the meaning, right? Once you master the power of meaning, you will be dead to praises, you will be dead to criticism. It will no longer affect you because, remember, like Forrest Gump, you need to keep running in the direction of your future, right? The people with backbite, push you, they are the ones moving you in the direction of your future. So you need to master the power of meaning and make it work for you. If you are with someone who talks bad about you, you need to change the meaning, right? That the person is trying to survive. If you are with someone who shouts on you, screams on you, you need to imagine that the person has been featured, has become a cast in a movie called The Angry Husband, right? And so he's rehearsing the script he has been given. Instead of anger, you will now begin to enjoy the scene, right? So you are a meaning making machine, and you need to understand that you can make your meaning work for you. A lot of people are depressed. They've lost their power to recreate their mind through the power of meaning. The moment you lose the touch on how to master meaning, which is something you need to do consistently, you can do something today. Write down every negative word that affects you, right? It's an exercise. Write out every negative word that you don't like that affects you, right? Then change those words and give it your own meaning. Let me shock you. Do you know that when we arrived on this planet, right, stupid means you are handsome. If stupid meant you are the most beautiful human being ever created, do you know that if that was the meaning, we would have been excited if people call you stupid? In fact, if I say you are very stupid, you say, wow, yeah. Why? Because the meaning your mind has given onto it is to say, that's what it means to you, right? Which is why they said the Chinese lexicon, there's no word called crisis. Every crisis is opportunity, which is why when the whole world experienced crisis, Chinese see opportunity to take over the world, right? So you need to get to the point where you list the words that you consider negative, that get you down, and give your own meaning to it, and train your mind to accept that meaning. That's where the tough work is. You need to retrain your mind, right? So you say to your mind, stupid now means, wow, that you are making progress. Foolish now means that you are going to be very wealthy, right? So when 10,000 people says you are foolish, what your mind is interpreting, wealth is coming. And if that is your interpretation, because interpretation is the most powerful force in your life, what you interpret is what your mind experiences. So if you see someone today and you say your mind interprets that that's the greatest lover, you begin to blush, you begin to smile, right? You don't know them, whether they are 419, but you begin to blush because that's the interpretation. So you need to make your interpretation work for you. And lastly, you must master the power of utilization. Master the power of utilization, which says whatever you deny, you delete, And whatever you delete, you may not experience. Whatever you do experience, you may not utilize. Stop judging people on the basis of how they look, on the basis of their race, on the basis of their religion, on the basis of their culture, right? Because you need to understand the power of utilization. God is the God of all flesh. To assume that he cannot activate any human being in your direction is losing out from what you desire. I have seen a lot of Christians lose out this way. A lot of Christians pray, right? But they don't understand answers to their prayer. So when their answers show up in a format they don't understand, they reject it. So for example, a Christian begins to pray, right? God, bless me with prosperity, and a sheikh shows up, right? In his mind, maybe he would think Boko Haram, or he would think, what have I got to do with this Muslim, an infidel? The moment his interpretation, can you see how all the laws work together? The moment his interpretation says infidel, it will affect his body language. It's going to be rude to that sheikh, and it's going to turn off the sheikh. The sheikh will take his money away, because all he's going to be thinking about is soul winning. Now, soul winning is not required in that instant. God has activated one of his children, right? Because he's the God of all flesh, in your direction. But you lack the capacity to recognize. One of the earliest books I read in my life was The Power of Recognition by Dr. Mike Murdock. You couldn't recognize the answers to your prayer, so the angel takes the answers away, and you are still beginning to entreat God. How many times as people, if you look at Abraham, right, and his mannerism, every time he saw a stranger, he took care of them, right? And that's why sometimes the Bible says that some people have entertained angel by their good deeds, right? So you don't judge people on the, don't even live in that plane. It's a higher level. That's where I live right now. I don't know a Muslim, I don't know a Christian, right? Because over time, the people who call Christian don't behave like Christian. The people who call Muslim can behave, I know humanity. That's where I stand, right? Once you know humanity, you'll be reduced to love, and you'll be able to do things for people irrespective of their religious persuasion. I don't know gay, I don't know straight, I don't know any. All I see is a human being. Once I see a human being, you deserve my bowel of mercy, right? So you need to master the power of utilization, because some of you, your answers to your prayer is the hand of a gay person. You don't like him, it's going to show up on your radar, it's going to put you off, right? But if you recognize that God can activate anybody in your direction, then you will appropriate and utilize everything that is in your radar. For thou hast created all things, and for thy pleasure they are and were created. So you see people who have not created anything, they're suspicious of everything. When internet came, they say it's Antichrist. Now it's 5G we're talking about. We're going to talk about 7G. We just kind of come up with all kinds of conspiracy theory, even though they are still going to use it eventually, right? Be careful of people who have not created anything, but they condemn everything. Be careful of people who have not created anything, but they condemn everything. Be careful of people who have not innovated anything, but they condemn everything, because they are not qualified to condemn unless they produce alternatives. Unless you produce alternative, keep your mouth shut, right? Humanity needs solution. You have not produced any alternative. The one that you have has not worked. He has not set humanity free, right? But you are pushing it. You are pushing your own agenda and condemning what others are doing, right? So you need to master the power of utilization, because God is going to bring all kinds of people your way this season. Don't shut them down. The guy may look like 419, right? But he may be activated in your favor at that point in time. Raven was sent to feed Elijah. If you have done a documentary on Raven is the stingiest bird among all the bird species, right? But that is, imagine someone is praying for food, and you now see food in the hand of the stingiest human being on earth. Naturally, your mind will stand. You will say to you, this guy will never give me. But that was the kind of bird God sent to feed Elijah, to say to him that, see, I am the God of all flesh. I can activate the stingiest. I can activate Boko Haram. I can activate, ISIS. I can activate, someone you hate in your direction, right? So don't underestimate God. You need to learn to utilize everything that comes your way. Stop standing in with the silos that we have built. Stop standing within the ambit of the limitation of your mind. Stop standing within the walls we have erected that separated humanity. He's a Muslim, he's a Christian, he's a Pentecostal, he's Orthodox. That is the way human beings are designed. We keep erecting all kinds of walls because we want to prove that we are superior, but at the point of life and death, we are all the same. We have seen Christians die, we have seen Muslims die, we have seen Christians leave, we have seen Muslims leave, we have seen marriages of Christians fail, we have seen marriages of Muslims fail, we have seen marriages of Christians work, we have seen marriage. So why are we pretending as if one person is superior to the other, right? It's not so. You need to understand these things and open your eyes so that you can maximize humanity Enjoy humanity. You have one life to live. The greatest regret many people are going to have is that they never lived life to the fullest because they dwell at the realm of judgment. They became hell accreditation officer, sending people to hellfire that they did not experience love. You must experience love. You must enjoy things. You must look at things and it must inspire you, right? Because God is the God of all flesh. He can activate everyone, anyone in your direction. I was flying, in American Express one day, and a guy passed out in the plane. The moment the guy passed out in the plane, they began to ask, are there medics in here? Right now, I was a Christian. I just started praying because I didn't know about medical, how to resuscitate someone who has passed out. But I noticed a guy. He was a Buddhist. I noticed a Sikh. I noticed a Muslim guy. Now, the three of them combined to bring the guy up. Right? I was a Christian praying. They were medics. Now, God utilized all kinds of religion at the point of death to save a life, right? That's how it works. You don't ask your pilot, the pilot flying, what religion do you belong to? You don't ask him whether he's gay or straight. What you know is that he's a human being. If you have seen a dog there, you would have come down. But you saw a human being, you assume he's a human being, you conclude he's a human being. You didn't ask for his religion, you didn't ask for his race. So why are you bothered about his race or religion, right? You go to the market, you don't ask, is this a Christian rice, Muslim rice? Is this a Buddhist rice? Is it a gay rice, right? Even if they label it as gay, you will still eat it, right? That's the law of utilization. Let everything around you work for you. Let everything God has created work for you. Let every flesh work for you, right? Which is why when I do my power work every morning, I always speak to the atmosphere. I activate the universe to work for my favor. I activate humanity to work for me. It's something you need to say to yourself all the time. So utilize everything, and I believe that you will smile at the end of this season. So I've talked about own your happiness. 1, 2, recreate your inner world. 3, master the power of request. That's very critical. 4, master the power of meaning. Number 5, utilize everything. Now, conquer your fear, guys, right? Don't be afraid of anything, right? I have lost my fear for a lot of things. I've lost the capacity to be suspicious, right? I just want to enjoy life, right? That's how to live. Nobody has promised you tomorrow, so maximize today. Enjoy it. Look for beauty, look for happiness, look for bliss, look for peace. Smile lavishly, enjoy life, and you realize that, hey, religion can bound people. Spirituality is what God needs. And at the level of spirituality, that is love. When you are reduced to love, you will realize that you will enjoy the benefits of humanity. You will judge nothing. You will embrace people. You will accept. You will seek to understand. You will respect them. And you will love them. Wherein love is a decision that is based on a commitment to add value to someone else without expecting thank you. And once you are at the realm of love, that's the realm of God. Because God sends rain, He sends sun, He sends moon to everybody, including those who say there is no God. They enjoy His breath, they enjoy His moon. That's where you want to be. At the level of God, at the level of love, you are qualified for your bowel of mercy, for God to turn you into a channel to be a blessing to humanity. Because you have transited the power of your tribe, of your race, of your sect, of your denomination. You have moved into the power of humanity. And once the energy of humanity resides in you, the juice of humanity will flow out of you in the direction of humanity. And once it can flow, humanity will pay you what they pay for value. And that's how people become very wealthy. I hope I've helped you this morning. Please remember, we have said we are migrating from Facebook to YouTube. I'm going to start to stream this session on YouTube very soon. I'll announce to you when we're going to start. We've test run it yesterday. I think it works perfectly well. It's because every time I do this session, I have to download it afterwards, then upload it on YouTube again. That's data consuming, right? But we can stream directly on YouTube. You won't lose anything at all. Thank you so much for always joining me. Everyone always join. Mama B, I can see you. Thank you so much. That's the woman who prays for me all the time. Esther, thank you for joining us. Otumba, everyone, Tokwe, I can see. Where have you been all these years, all these days? Tokwe, right? Thank you, everyone. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow, God's willing, 3 a.m. Let's meet again. And if you have not registered, if you're single or you're married, you have not registered for my class this weekend on Saturday, how to write your user's manual, please ensure that you register for that class. It's about 7,000 naira, right? You will craft your life on the sheet of paper, and you know exactly what you want. Your spouse will understand you better. Without a user's manual, people will guess you, right? But with user's manual, there's clarity. You have stated by yourself how you want to be utilized, how you want them, what you want them to know about you, how you want them to troubleshoot you. When you are upset, this is how to get you back. You have created that, articulated that. You can create it for your children. You can create it for yourself and your spouse. Thank you very much. You can go ahead, register for that masterclass, right? And together, we can actually heal our world. My goal is to reduce the error rates of mankind right now and help humanity live happily together within themselves and within their society. I love you. I will celebrate you. I'll see you tomorrow, God's willing. Bye-bye.